Okay, so a very warm welcome to this Q&A session from Clore Leadership, which is aimed at those who are supporting applicants from within an organisation. I'm Kate Atkinson, I'm Head of Programmes at Clore Leadership, and it's really lovely to welcome you this morning. I'm joined by my colleague, Bhavini.
Hi everyone, I'm Bhavini, I'm the Programmes Coordinator for Clore Leadership.
So I'm going to run through quite a short presentation this morning, and then I'm happy to take any questions that anybody's got as we go. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, Bav, can you just give me a cue? Is that working all right?
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's a good start. It won't scroll through. Brilliant. There we go. So at the moment, we are open for courses applications at Clore Leadership. And for this application round, we have got 2 courses that we're recruiting to. So there's our Emerging Leaders course, which is a 1-week residential. And for this application round, we're accepting applications for 2 courses running this winter. And I'll come on to the course dates in a wee while. So there are 2 rounds for Emerging Leaders open at the moment. And we're also accepting applications to Leadership Pulse, which is 2-module long residential. There are 2-week-long residentials staggered a month apart, and that course also includes provision of individual coaching and small group coaching, small group conversations as we call them at Clore. So a little bit about Emerging Leaders. If you're not familiar with the course, this is our early stage career course, which is pitched at leaders who've got between 2 and 5 years experience and some experience of either initiating and or managing projects and people. There is no age limit on the Emerging Leaders applicants. So we take applicants of all ages, but it is that 2 to 5 years experience. And as I said earlier, we have got 2 courses open for applications in winter 22-23. The course dates are the 8th of November to the 2nd of December, or the 27th of February to the 3rd of March. And in terms of content, the course covers content which focuses on better understanding your own leadership style, so who you are as a leader and your preference and your style of leadership. It looks at the business of leadership, so there's some pieces around strategy, around finance, and then there's also content which looks at how you lead and work with others, so how you interact with those around you, be it in your team or if you're a freelance artist amongst your collaborators or commissioners. It's worth me just adding at that point, we are within this application round, as I said before, taking applications for both those courses. Applicants are able to select to apply for either of the courses or for both of the courses. And we will endeavour, when we're assessing an application and coming through to the final selection, to reference that choice that the applicant has made in the application form. So if they select either, we will allocate them a place if selected to one of the courses. If they choose a specific date, then we would only be considering them for that course. So for Leadership Pulse, which is our more experience level leadership course, we're looking at applicants who've got a minimum of 5 years experience. And for the winter 2023 course, we have module 1 running between the 16th to the 20th of January 2023, and module 2 the following month, the 20th to the 24th of February 2023. And again, in terms of the content, those attending will do a lot of work reflecting on their own leadership style, getting to better understand themselves and their preferences. They will also undertake a 360 profiling exercise as well. There's content around leading others and managing resources. There's content around leadership for change. And as I said earlier, there's also provision of online individual coaching or face-to-face coaching at the course itself, and group coaching. So a little bit in terms of the impact that we have fed back to us from those who attend our courses, and also those who work with those who attend our courses. So the kind of key themes that we see recurringly through our feedback and evaluation mechanisms are around things like an increased confidence and self-awareness. Lots of applicants feel that they have a better understanding of who they are and what's important in terms of their leadership values and preferences. And that really leads to an increased confidence among them. We hear that the access to the cross-sectoral thought leadership is of real benefit. So cohorts would be working within a cross-art form, cross-sector cohort. So they will hear and from different perspectives across arts and culture, and that thought leadership and the conversations that happen within the course are of real benefit. We hear about the impact in terms of cascaded learning. So we're aware that those who come on our courses are sharing their learning back through their teams where they're working in an organisation, and that's really interesting about the permeation of how the impact of that course spreads through an organisation. We hear regularly that the development of a professional network is of real value and benefit. Those attending a course are part of a cohort, and many of our cohorts go on to stay in regular contact to act as a group who will mutually support in times of need, who are able to advise, a group of critical friends, but also to enable to open up to a wider professional network, so to tap into the respective contacts within that cohort as well. And then of course, as you would expect on a course, those who attend to develop a range of different skills and knowledges as a result of the content and the speakers that we schedule through the courses. Little bit about the fees and finances for the two courses. So for emerging leaders, we offer a subsidised course fee, which means that it's underpinned by support from Arts Council England and some of our other funding sources as well. So we have fee bands which are based on the size of an organisation. So for band A, 1 to 50 employees, that's £600 plus VAT. And for band B, which is 50 plus employees, it's £800 plus VAT. For Leadership Pulse, again, we offer a subsidised fee, again supported through Arts Council England. So band A, 1 to 15 employees, is £1,000 plus VAT. Band B, which is 16 to 50 employees, is 1,500 plus VAT. Band C, 51 to 199 employees, £1,800 plus VAT. And Band D, which is for those organisations with 200 plus employees, it's 2,200 plus VAT. The unsubsidised rate, so for applicants who wouldn't come under the Arts Council England criteria, the full course fee is £4,700 for Pulse and £2,300 for emerging leaders. So those are the fee bands, the subsidised and the unsubsidised fee bands. But then, of course, we do offer a range of bursaries for individual applicants. And in terms of the bursaries that we have available for the winter 22-23 courses, we've got a range of full or part fee bursaries. Some of these are targeted at specific sectors or particular geographical regions. So for example, we have Creative Scotland bursaries, and we also have some bursaries this time around for applicants working in the Tees Valley area. We do have targeted bursaries for underrepresented groups. So there are bursaries which are targeted at deaf, disabled and neurodivergent applicants, as well as ethnically diverse applicants as well. We do include provision for caring support. So that is for applicants who make it through to a cohort and might need additional financial resource to support with childcare or other dependent caring costs. And all the bursaries that we have for each round, and they do vary from round to round, are on the website together with the eligibility criteria. The bursary would apply for that fee band that I talked about earlier. So when a course applicant makes an application, if they're awarded a bursary, that bursary would cover the cost of the relevant fee band. Applicants can apply for up to 2 bursaries within their application. They should really closely check that they meet the criteria, and they are asked to make a case for how they for support for the bursary to which they're applying within the application form. And just to be really clear as well, when we make a course offer, we would offer with an associated bursary. So for example, if an applicant applies for a bursary, we wouldn't then offer a non-bursary supported place. So in terms of how to make an application, everybody goes through exactly the same process. We ask that applicants, before they apply, read through all the relevant course information and criteria and make sure that they meet that criteria. We do have a guide, the essential guide to making your application online, which we really recommend that applicants read through. We have got a British Sign Language version of that document as well. And if you want to, if you're a member of your team's applying or you're wanting to get that information in an alternative format, you can please get in touch with us and we're happy to assist. You will need to make an application to register for an account online at the Clore Leadership website. And from that, you then go into the application portal, and that's where all of the applications come in, unless you wish to make your application in an alternative format. We will consider taking an application in, for example, a video submission or in an alternative format if an applicant wishes us to make an adjustment on an access basis. But have a conversation with us about that, and we're happy to support and make any adjustments that an applicant might need. As part of the application, applicants are also asked to provide details of a nominator. And this is somebody who will be supporting the applicant and can speak to the applicant's leadership experience and acumen. That could be, excuse me, I'm just gonna, my mouse isn't working. So the nominator is there to support and endorse an application and to speak to the leadership experience of the application. It's really critical that when applicants choose a nominator, they choose somebody who really knows them and their leadership really, really well. So that might mean you as their employer. It might mean a close colleague that they've worked with closely. It might be somebody that they are, a partner that they've worked with on a particular project. But it's really critical that the nominator really knows the applicant well and can speak to their leadership experience. We're not looking for big names. We're not looking for, somebody who's got a really fancy job title. We are really interested in the content of that nomination and what the nominator has to say about the applicant. Obviously, you need to work through the application form, completing and submitting it. As you work through the form, you're able to submit each section, and then the application will show you the progress along as you go. We'll be offering 24 places on each of the courses that I've talked about today. And just a reminder that because there are 2 runs of emerging leaders this time around, you are asked within the application form which of the 2 courses, or indeed if it's both of the 2 courses that you want to apply for. In terms of some tips from experience of our assessing applications, we do ask that applicants read through the essential guide before they make their application. It does spot some common errors that applicants do tend to make. We suggest that you really carefully select who your nominator is going to be, and really go for somebody who is able to complete the nomination in good time, who is also able to speak to the applicant's leadership acumen and experience. We recommend that applicants are brave and honest about who they are and what leadership and change making means for them. We are not looking for somebody to write in the style of a funding application or for polished prose. Your application is assessed on the content of what you're saying, not the style and prose in which it is written. We are really also looking for people who are, for candidates who are really open to learning. But all the courses are deeply reflected, so we're really looking for individuals who understand where their areas of growth are, who are curious and excited about their own learning. Just touched upon this a little bit. So things that we're looking for in applicants that really help them stand out. A strong commitment and passion to make an impact in the cultural sector and beyond. So where will their leadership take them, and what will that impact be for arts and culture? We're of course looking that applicants meet the relevant levels of leadership or change making experience. So as I've said before, Leadership Pulse is 5 years plus, and Emerging Leaders is 2 to 5 years. We're really looking for applicants who are curious, who've got an openness and a desire to learn. And we're also looking for applicants who can demonstrate a capacity and willingness for deep reflection, so that kind of self-exploration and an understanding of what makes them tick as leaders. And I note that we are particularly keen to receive more applications from Black, Asian and ethnically diverse, and also deaf, disabled and neurodivergent leaders who are underrepresented within arts and cultural sector leadership. So we are particularly keen to hear from applicants from those underrepresented groups. In terms of how you can support an applicant, again, I think I've mentioned it twice already, but a shout out again that you support them in understanding and reading the essential guide to making your application online. As I said before, the nomination is a critical part of the application. It will form part of the assessment. So writing a really strong nomination is a key way in which, if you are the nominator, in which you can support your employee. The application process in itself is deeply reflective, and the course is deeply reflective. So a question to ask employees is whether they're able and willing, they're at their place where they're able and willing to be able to reflect deeply. Do they have the understanding of where they're at and who they are as leaders? And are they happy and open to kind of continuing that deep reflection? You can support them in asking some key questions around readiness. So is the candidate ready and open to undertake some deep leadership learning? There may be moments of discomfort and deep learning that might kind of light bulb moments within the course. So are they really ready to kind of undertake that and in the right place? And is it the right time? And to support around questions about whether the course is the right fit for them, or might they be better suited at this moment in time for another short form program. So it's about really helping them to understand the course content, the pitch in terms of experience, and to therefore make a judgment about whether the course is appropriate to them. Any questions at this point? I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions? I think we had a question submitted in advance by somebody who wasn't able to attend today, which was around the age range for applicants. I've hopefully answered that one already, but just to recover it, there is no sort of age stipulation in terms of the eligibility criteria for applicants. So we are talking about experience levels when we're talking about emerging leaders in particular. There isn't an age kind of bracket that we would be focusing in on. So just to finish, I'm going to share the application timeline. I will do if I can share my screen. There we go. So in terms of the timeline for this round, applications are open now. We have 2 other additional Q&A sessions in addition to this one, which are targeted at applicants themselves. We have got one on the my mind's gone blank. We've got one targeted for ethnically diverse applicants, and then we have got a second one on the 8th of June, which is targeted as a kind of open access Q&A, which will include sign language interpretation, live captioning, and also note taking as well. And that session will be recorded as well. And you're able to book a place if you wish to through the Clore Leadership website. You just need to click and request a place. The deadline for applications for this round is noon on the 6th of July, and with deep regret, we're not able to accept any late applications. We're following the assessment process, which involves external assessment by 2, it's double assessed by 2 assessors from our external assessor pool, and then a moderation process following on from that assessment within the Clore leadership team. We're anticipating being able to communicate the outcomes by the 1st of September, but that will of course be dependent on the volume of applications that we receive. We are looking to allocate 24 places on each course. We are able to provide support, and if you've got applicants on your teams who need support with information in alternative formats, or want to make the application itself in an alternative format, we're absolutely happy to have a conversation with the applicant and make adjustments our side, or discuss how that application might be submitted. And with deep regret, also, we're not able to provide individual feedback to those candidates who are unsuccessful, just due to the team capacity and the numbers of applications and volume that we receive for each timeline. So that's the application timeline for this year. And with that, that is the end of today's Q&A. So thank you very much for coming along. Thank you for watching. If you're watching the recording of this back, if you've got any further questions, need any further support with either an application that you're making or an application that's coming from a member of your team or your organisation, we're more than happy to help. The contact details for the team are on the web pages, the application web pages, but you can email us at courses@cloreleadership.org and we will come back to you and assist as you need. So, been lovely to speak to you today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.